So after a successful or maybe not so successful spring and summer garden, it's time to refresh those containers and plant some lettuce and spinach for this fall season.
Let's get started by grabbing a few containers that still have some old or expired plants in them. Right here, I've got 4 habanero plants that unfortunately didn't do so well this summer. I planted them a little too late in the season, and by the time they started to flower, the temperatures had already started to drop. On top of that, they weren't getting enough direct sunlight, so they never had a chance to really take off and produce healthy peppers. That's okay though. This happens to everyone, especially when you are still learning about timing and seasonal planting. The good news is we can reuse these containers and the soil inside them. I'll show you exactly how to clean things up and get them ready for your next round of plants. First, remove the old habanero plants. As you pull them out, try to keep as much of the existing soil in the container as possible. That soil still has value. It's been worked through by the roots and contains organic matter that will help your next batch of plants thrive. If your soil is loose, slightly moist, and not dried out or compacted, you are already off to a good start. If it looks tired or dry, give it a light watering to wake it up. Don't worry if it still seems lifeless. We're about to refresh it to bring it back to life. Now that containers are cleared, it's time to add one of the most powerful tools in gardening, compost. Compost is like a superfood for plants. It restores tired soil by adding nutrients, improving texture, and helping roots grow stronger and healthier. For a long time, I used mostly plant-based compost. It worked fine, but I found it often had a lot of woody material that didn't fully break down, making my container soil feel rough and chunky. Plant-based compost works great in garden beds where there's more time and space for decomposition, but in containers, I noticed my plants just weren't as happy. That's when I switched to manure-based compost. The difference was night and day. Manure compost is finer, easier to mix, and packed with nutrients. It blends beautifully with existing container soil, creating a light, fluffy texture that drains well but still holds enough moisture for healthy growth. To apply compost, loosen up your old soil with your hands. If the container is already full, scrape off a few inches of soil from the top to make room. Then, add a fresh layer of compost, about 1/4 the depth of the container. Mix it in gently into the top half of the soil so everything blends together evenly. Finally, give the soil a light watering to help the compost settle and activate those beneficial microbes that bring your soil back to life. Once that's done, your container is almost ready for planting. But before we move on, there's one more important step, adding fertilizer. Container gardens lose nutrients faster than in-ground gardens because every time you water, some nutrients wash out through the drainage holes. Starting with a solid nutrient base helps your plants stay strong and productive. Before planting, I like to mix in about a 1/2 cup of 4-4-4 fertilizer for each 7-gallon container. Sprinkle it evenly across the top, then gently mix it into the upper few inches of the soil. There's no need to dig too deep. Over time, watering will naturally carry the nutrients down to the roots. With everything prepared, it's finally time to plant. Since these containers are a bit over 1 foot in diameter, I can apply some basic principles of square foot gardening. The idea is to maximize your growing space by giving each plant just the right amount of room to thrive without overcrowding. For this setup, I can plant 9 spinach seeds or 4 lettuce seeds per container. Spinach grows more compactly, so you can space them about 3 to 4 inches apart. Lettuce, on the other hand, needs more room, about 6 inches between plants, especially if you're growing full heads. When planting, I always prefer to direct sow spinach and lettuce instead of transplanting seedlings. Both have dedicated root systems that don't like being disturbed. Transplanting can stress them out or slow their growth. That often leads to uneven sizes or early bolting. By direct sowing, the roots grow straight down from the start, helping your plants establish quickly and grow stronger and uniform. To plant, sprinkle your seeds evenly across the surface, then lightly press them in. About a 1/4 inch deep for spinach and a little less for lettuce. Give the soil a gentle watering and you're all set. In about a week or 2, you'll start to see little green sprouts popping up. From there, it's all about keeping the soil evenly moist and making sure your plants get plenty of sunlight. With this setup, you'll be harvesting fresh, homegrown greens before you know it.
And that's it. You refreshed your container, rebuilt your soil, and planted a new round of fresh greens. Gardening doesn't have to be complicated. Just a few simple steps can make a huge difference. So get some seeds in the soil, stay consistent, and you'll have some crispy greens in no time. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy growing.